Everybody. Tim Ross, welcome to the basement. We are here, honey. We are into it. Get into this. You guys have got to get this book. Okay? This book is even the introduction says get down here, an invitation to the basement. This what I'm going to do with this book is going to be very brief. You guys got to get the book. I'm not going to really dissect because I will be giving the book away and I don't want to do that. I know he doesn't. His book is still very new. So but I will say this because if you listen to any of his podcasts, you will know what the basement is about. So he got a vision from God and he breaks down what a vision is versus what a dream is of going to this building and going all the way up to the 100th floor. Okay. On the 100th floor, he walks down the hallway. He sees men and women. And he describes them very specifically with a platter holding these vices. Okay. And when he says the vices, he says that they are carrying things like on this platter. It's either they're holding a silver charger or they have a platter, and they have every sin, vice, and weight that you could possibly think of in a life. Okay, so these are all the things that people struggle with. And so there are women, beautiful, beautiful women holding these vices. And on the other side of the wall, there are men holding these vices. So he had to choose if he wanted the vice number one and who he wanted to get it from. Okay, so in this vision, he sees prominent Christian leaders. He says he cannot see their faces, but if you know anything about visions, you may not see a person's face, but you'll know who they are. And in his vision, he was able to before he even went to enter the room, he was able to canvas the room in his vision and see everything that was happening in the room. And nobody acknowledged him in the room. And then they probably looked at him. He said some people looked at him, realized he didn't say this, but I'm thinking realized he didn't have the vice and didn't even engage with them. Okay. He leaves there. He's like, okay, forget it. This ain't for me. He plans to leave and just go back out of the building. But when he gets in the elevator the next time, he sees the L button, which is the lobby, but he now sees a B. It was very, very faint. So he could have missed it. He doesn't know if he saw it the first time and just didn't press it, or he had to see it to go down. This is my part of it because he didn't say that. So he goes down to B, he presses B. And there is an experience. He talks about the experience of going up the elevator, of when he went up the elevator, he started looking at himself, when he was going up to the penthouse, he started seeing himself differently, questioning what he had on, if he had lint on it, what's going on, like things that he never would have thought going up because he was good before he got into the elevator. So going down, it was the experience of going down the elevator. And when he came out, immediately people welcomed him. And he said, whereas upstairs, it was like all these prominent people, but they were alone. So these prominent people of God by themselves, though. Downstairs in the basement, rather, it was people, it was families, it was aunties, cousins. He said it was children, husbands, wives. It was everybody. Okay. And they welcomed him. And the thing that he said, they cheered as soon as he opened up, as soon as the elevator opened, and he could hear laughter and music and a party. Whereas upstairs, he didn't hear nothing. Everything was posh. Everything was beautiful. Everything was lovely, and then he says that someone grabbed him by his shoulders and said, bro, welcome. Not everybody gets to make it down here. So he's teaching us that the world is essentially upside down. The way we know things, the way we see things, we think everything is right side up. It's good to be on top. But through this basement experience, we're learning that it's upside down. And I got some thoughts about that, and I'll get into them as we go on. But I like how he mentions the vulnerability, So in chapter 1, he talks about the upset and what it means to be upset. And so he even defines upset, which is to overturn, to destroy, the power of, to overthrow, to defeat, and to vanquish. Okay. The second definition is to disturb, is to derange completely, to put out of order, or to throw into disorder. Okay. So we need to understand that when we are going to a different place in God, that there will be a disruption that's going to take place. The way you see things. He even describes how when you have a cup and you got some cup of water and it falls over, there's a disruption to the cup. And so when you can look at your life and you can see the disruptions in your life, he has, at the bottom of at the back of each chapter, there's going to be questions that will, he calls it practical matters. I don't know what he calls it for the next ones, but they're questions that he asks, so you definitely want to get a notebook. Like he asked about, what has upset your life. He asked it in a certain kind of way. I don't want to just quote his quote, but this is definitely the book to have, and like I said, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit of each chapter. I want you all to get this book. I want you to get in the comments and tell me what you thought about this book, what you think about what I just shared with you all. Are you ready to get in the basement with me? Are you ready to upset the world? Are you ready for your life to be upset? Because your life has been upset already, okay? Life has been lifing. But are you ready to find ways that you can, in spite of being upset, to move forward and do what God has called you to do? Okay. So welcome to this journey. Welcome to the basement, y'all. All right. Stay tuned. Chapter 2 and 3 in the next video.